Hey everybody, this is Grace, and this video I want to talk about my experience with getting the first COVID vaccination shot, and rounded things about it. This is just my personal experience, and that doesn't mean it would be yours. I'm not that kind of a scientist. I am not a medical healthcare professional provider, none of that. This is just my personal experience. And so don't take it any other way. But today it's been a week since I had mine. Today will make a week. And I got mine as soon. I have health conditions, and I got mine. I thought I had it already. And I'm going to talk about that later on in the video if I remember. And but I cleared it that day last week with my new doctor. I hadn't seen their office until I don't know, a week before then maybe. But I cleared it with them that morning, and then when Adam works from home, and when he took his lunch, we got there, in other words, ASAP. So, and the shot itself was just fine. I mean, there was no big deal, no wait in line. I went to the place. The doctor had told me, their office had told me where, I had two pharmacies that did it, and I went to one of them and had it done. It was simple, very simple, and like I said, no wait in line. You just have to give. I just had to give my, they knew who I was and verified that, they had a protocol, and give my social security number because they needed that. And they gave me, of course, at the end of the card and when to come back and all that. So that was no problem. And since then, I think it was day 3 that I started feeling a mild headache. Now, it could be caused by anything, okay, or a combination of things. And I was having headaches before then, okay. And one of the things that's a problem for me is stress, and with my health condition and all that. So, it could be a stress headache. It could be, like my doctor told me, I was dehydrated. And that's been an issue for me for years. So, and also I had to start taking a additional supplement, and I started doing that day. And so there's many things it could be. So, just because a person gets a headache, that doesn't mean anything. And but around it was quite disturbing for me. It made me anxious, I should say. Is the pharmacy is inside of another store, big, huge superstore. I think I've maybe mentioned this. And so going into it, it's a huge superstore. It's got everything from groceries to clothing to, I think they might even have furniture. Big, it's huge. This is Texas. Many things are huge. They grow everything bigger in Texas. They make everything bigger in Texas. Not everything. But, so going in there, I have been in there, I had to go in there before because the doctor, one time last year, I think it was, the doctor told me to go in there and see the pharmacist. And, and those are really mainly the two things that I've ever been out over this, year and a half or so. Those are the two that's the same one place, and then there was, I think, 3 other places in all this time. Okay, seriously. And the third one of those, I went twice, I think. And then to the doctor. This was my first time to go to the doctor. I've been to the ER twice, too. Okay, so you see, it's very rare for me to go into any place since last year. But there's just boy, what the heck. It's morning because of the sun and all. I have to do these early in the morning before I'm caffeinated. And so It's 85 already. It's only 8:42 a.m. After that, my camera gets too hot, very hot. So, okay, so where was I? But it was disturbing, in a way. So, like, when we're walking in, Adam went with me, in case I had an allergic reaction. I have really serious, allergies to so many things, and including medications. And so he went with me, and, you have to sit, I had the shot, no problem, like I said, and, she said I have to wait there 15 minutes. Nobody else was doing it. Now, where I was sitting, I was facing a partition. It was open on my left side, probably because I would think most people get it in their left arm, because, like, one of them told me people, I don't remember how she said it, but I think it was some kind of preference they suggest, or something like that get it in the arm that you use the least. So my left would be, I'm right-handed, so my left would be the least. And I remember getting in my left arm before, the other, when I was young, a kid. So anyway, so I'm facing this partition, but that side, the left side's open, and I can see what's going on in the store. And as I was walking in, I of course could see in this huge superstore. And this is Texas, like I said, north of Dallas. And most people weren't wearing masks. It's not mandated here. We had twice, I think, it was, times that we had to. I have a feeling that's coming back. I also have a feeling that because of something I saw on one of those news channels, I don't know which one, that we're one step below going stay home. They call it stay home, stay safe here. I think that's what it was. And some people think of that as lockdown. Okay. So I have a feeling we will be back in lockdown, and only go out for essentials. I don't call that lockdown if you can go out, but only go out for essentials, or if you are essential worker like before. I see it coming with this Delta. And so we're walking in, and one of the things, we both have our masks on as we're walking, going across the parking lot, bright sunshine, but we're still wearing our masks, So as we're walking in, we see a lot of people not wearing their masks. Okay, like I said, it's not mandated here, and which mandate, from what I understand, depends on where you live. I'm not a lawyer, I don't know for certain, but mandate means it has the effect of law. Okay, so like I just said. So as we're walking in, we see all these people. I mean, and it's crowded too. It was 1 to 1:30, somewhere around there, and just so crowded, so many people. And most people were not, I would say, most people we saw were not wearing masks, face coverings. No social distancing, we social distanced, but, yeah. So, anyway, I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, and what I see as I was walking in, and see once I'm in there, is people not wearing their mask, and kids running around screaming. Okay. Of course, they didn't have any mask on either. Not of course, but they didn't. And just, like, we're free again. This kind of thing. Remember, I was one that stay at home, so this is not habit for me, and this is not something I've seen a lot of. Okay, I was not going out there, except those few times I mentioned. And it was quite shocking to Adam. Now, he has had his shots. I said in April, he said in March, but he's had both of his vaccinations. So, anyway, he told me he was just shocked. He was shocked by the way people were behaving in the store, in the pharmacy and all that. And so, we got out of there ASAP. He went and picked up a few little groceries, for our puppy dog, and just a few. So we got out of there ASAP. I am serious. And like I said, we were just shocked, and I was really worried. I was saying, okay, according to my doctor's office, the nurse practitioner, who had called me, who I spoke to about my test results. I did not have the antibodies, any antibodies. And she said something like they took the test that it would show up always in your body. Now, I've heard of this. I watched that Dr. John Campbell, and I've heard him talk about that. But I believe the scientists. I believe the science. Of course, they're rare, very rarely does it have a false negative. But I still believed. Okay, I don't. Okay, and I was behaving all this time as though I hadn't had it either. Like I said, hardly ever went anywhere, and stay at home. This kind of thing. And I always wore a mask whenever I went to. Well, I did go through drive-thrus, but I always wore a mask. Paid special attention to the cards. When I was giving them the card and when they were giving it back to me. I had stuff in my. I can't use I have allergies to I think it's the alcohol. I'm pretty sure it's the alcohol. On those. What are they even called? I don't use them, so. That people clean their hands with. I'm allergic to any of that. I can't use them. They break my hands out real bad. So I have to use Huggies. They're called Natural Care, baby wipes, or some call them baby wipes or whatever. I have to use that. I don't know how good that is against it, but that's what I do. And even wash down the steering wheel, the gear shift, the door, where this kind of thing. I'm very particular about that because of my health conditions. Yeah, and anyway, she told me that I didn't have antibodies, and I okay, that means bad. But then since then, I have questions about this. Remember, this is not my field. I'm not an expert on it. Don't trust what I say. Go, whatever. But I had questions because I really thought I did, and plus had those, what they were calling at first long hauler symptoms, and they call it long COVID. I was having them, and I was mentioning them to, me and Adam were noticing it, because I would tell him some weird symptom I was having, and then we'd see it before long on TV, on the news, that people had these different kinds of symptoms. I have them on video too, and so I couldn't believe it. I could believe the test results, but I still couldn't believe that I didn't have it, that I hadn't had it. It was just, my brain, I have a genius IQ. I'm not bragging, this is just fact. And it just didn't add up right. But I'm not a healthcare professional, and I didn't see anybody back then because it was so early in it. There weren't tests, there weren't antibody tests. There weren't tests for it yet. And they were saying unless you have a reason to go to the hospital, stay at home, and I did. Never had it tested until recently. Okay, so I'm doing a little recap again. Each video is a new video as it is. Anyway, so I have been wondering what was it that I had. Now the doctor had said. The nurse practitioner, she said I could have had, this or that. And mainly she mentioned flu or cold. And that was nothing like a flu or cold. Nothing like I have ever experienced in my life. Okay? I'm 58 years old. Nothing like it. And it bugged me. And then I started, like I said, reading online. And I could say that it was from UCLA, but I could be wrong. Or it was somebody mentioned it was UCLA, but whatever. And there was more than one thing that said this about the person no longer has antibodies. And it was like something someone was saying 6 months to a year or after a year, somewhere in there, that they lose their natural immunity is what they called it. Now, I can't verify that. Like I said, I can't verify it. Don't listen to me. That's what I read, okay? And I could be wrong in all of this. But I was thinking, but which one? Okay, they said there are 2 tests, so which one would it be? Would it be both? And if it is, why would my doctor's office not know that? And you see what I'm saying? Is there's confusion. This needs to be cleared up. This needs to be out there. I had said that after, I guess it was after those terrible Texas storms, I had had too much stress. There was, one thing, watching the election, and I was watching daily several times a day. And Adam had to go to the hospital, had an accident, had to go in the hospital. And he told me afterwards it was touch and go. And that's when he got home. It's when those terrible Texas storms happened. We had a pipe burst. I was having to do everything because Adam couldn't walk much. He couldn't do much of anything. And it was terrifying. I had a dog with dementia. The dog had to be put down, by the way. Not then, but, had stomach cancer. And there was just so much with, like, the dog. Like, I had my headaches. Oof. But so many things that were going on, including a family member with cancer. That's a more recent one. Found out, about cancer, and oh my goodness, I can't even remember. There were just so many. This year has been terrible for me. And then my own health. I knew that I had these health conditions, but getting doctors to listen, oh my goodness, I've already done videos on that. And what else? Oh yeah, the other person, a person I knew, not very much, he passed away. There's a whole drama around that, and I know there's more stuff. So this year has been very stressful, which, like I said, could be the reason I have a headache. I don't know. I have constant headaches. But where was I going with that? Like I said, I haven't had my caffeine. I've been up since 6, but I still haven't got my caffeine. I can't drink coffee, by the way. It's too much for me. My health condition, that's another thing is attached to it. I'm not even supposed to drink caffeine at all. That from what I'm reading and hearing, like I said, getting information from doctors, right? They don't even take it seriously. Now this one did, because I had to go on to the ER and I had proof. They did a CT. I handed it over to them. So none of this crap of, oh yeah, right, sure. Got attitude. Oh my goodness. But anyway. Okay, so where I was going with it was that because of all these things, I could not handle watching the news. And plus, it's like you see the same thing over and over and over again. It barely ever moves, and each one of them repeated. I understand why, or at least one reason. I understand more than one reason. But, yeah, it was too much stress. Way too much stress. I already had enough on my own. I didn't need any more. So maybe they have said things about it. Adam still watches the news, and if he would have seen something like that, he would have told me, I would think. And so I don't know. They've said things like, how long the natural immunity lasts and stuff. So maybe I did have it. Like I said, the symptoms it was just so weird that me and Adam were talking about them. I was putting them on video, and then the next thing I know, I'd hear other people have this on the news back then and everything. So I just had a hard time believing that I didn't have it. I still do. I think I had it, and I just lost the natural immunity. But that needs to be cleared up about those second tests, the one that's supposed to last in your life, in your body. I would think if they're saying that they lost it, natural immunity, then you don't have them at all. I mean, doesn't that make sense? See, my brain has to see it logically. I have to see, why would they test for the ones that last in your lifetime if they're also saying that people lost their natural immunity? You see? Okay. I see what I see. I mean, really, I see, yeah, you lose both of them. They wouldn't show up on either one. That's how I would see it, but I am not that kind of scientist. So I can't say that for certain. Anyway. But the headache thing is like a dry headache, okay? Dull, just kind of nagging headache, and it seems like it gets worse. And I really think that I need to start doing more videos because this is my pressure release valve. And, for the stress that I am under. Oh my goodness. And then the other day, I guess it was 2 nights ago or something, I saw a video, and it was just, I'm not going to say which channel, but it was something that a troll had said to some decent people. Good, decent people, nobody's perfect. We all have our faults. We all do things wrong. We all make mistakes, and we don't all do it intentionally. So these are, they've appeared so far, and I've been watching them I don't know how many months now, but to be good, decent people. And a troll attacked them. They said that they get troll attacks all the time, but this one was really horrible. And the next thing I know, I had this really bad headache all of a sudden. So I am a social and behavioral scientist, but I'm not a doctor. So, a medical doctor or healthcare professional at all. So I would think that it's like stress. It's like, for me, stress is when I see something like that, or hear of something like that. Or anything, anything that's just like, oh my gosh, these people, these bullies, these cluster bees, they just seem to be so out there. I mean, just so many. Like, it's so much worsening. And when can you find good, decent people that are not going to be attacked? Anyway, I kind of got off track. A little bit. But, the only thing, like I said, the headache, but I also had a little pain in my, on my back, which is not really good, around the kidney, so the left kidney. And I guess I'm not a healthcare professional, so I don't really know. But it just kind of went away. And I thought maybe it was just something that I had eaten, hopefully. And, but it wasn't. It was another pain. I can't say it was huge pain, nothing like that. But if it would have continued, I would have gone to my doctor. But it seems like things happen whenever my doctors aren't there. Whatever doctor's office, usually like some things would happen on a nighttime, evening, after they've closed, or weekend when they're not open. And same thing with our dogs, in the vet. So we just don't have luck that way. I don't believe in luck, by the way. I just don't. But anyway, what else was I going to talk about this? I'm sure I've left something out. But we are doing the thing. We had groceries delivered yesterday. This is the first time I've had groceries delivered in a long while because, as I've said this about the disgusting behaviors I've seen of some of these people who put it on camera. But I am seriously wondering, has this become a thing lately? It was just that, like I said, I don't believe in luck, but I can use that expression, it's just my luck that I've run across a lot of these people that whole thing of touching their nose and rubbing their noses and all that gross, disgusting stuff I've mentioned. And then while they're delivering, or even people who aren't delivering, it seems like, has it become socially acceptable? And I have had my head in the sand about it, which is very unlikely. But, to put it on camera when you're editing, don't you see it? But I don't edit my videos like that, so myself. So I could have something that people find the same thing. We're not perfect team. We're not perfect beings. None of us. Anyway, but we still had them delivered yesterday. And this one was really nice. I didn't like the whole process. I had called them, and then that was a mess. But the guy that delivered was really nice, and he was wearing a mask. Thank you. Really. He was wearing a mask. So that's the people that's the people to me, that do it because this is Texas, it's not mandated, but I would trust them more than the ones that just boldly come up to your private property, on your private property, not wearing a mask. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And by the way, just as I said that, I had edited, I'd actually not edited, but I'd heard myself on one of my videos. I've said this before, just the other day, but I was using my laptop, my desktop computer, an actual computer, that's, it doesn't sit on the desk, the monitor does, but, and I heard myself, I had bought some headphones, I don't know, I got those delivered too. I don't know when it was, but I'm not used to using them, and I was listening to myself, and I was like, who is this? Who is this talking? And I've said this before. Who is it? Because it's not me. It does not sound like me. It was my video. Does not sound like me. Even the whole intonation was so off. And it's like, I have said before that I have an iPad and an Android phone, my Android phone and my iPad. They don't sound the same to all three of them sound different from each other. Okay. And one of them, I don't know what is it is the Android. I sound more like myself. Okay. Than the other two. And I mean, some people would say, well, that's natural. It's going to happen. Different speakers, whatever. And I had listened myself, I think, before on a laptop, too. All these things. But anyway, but really, who is this? So if you listen to me on, maybe, different speakers, but on a desktop, oh my goodness, who is that talking? It's like I said, the whole intonation, the attitude is not there. And it throws it all off because what is the word? Not accent, but like something that's accented. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, the intonation and all of it is just not there. And it just really makes the whole thing not make sense. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm listening and saying, that's way off. Way off. But anyway, kind of ramble, but that's normal for me. So, that's my norm. But what else? But anyways, like I said, so far that's it. But I don't know if those two are at all associated, the headache and the little pain, a little ache, I guess, in my back. And plus, I've been trying to do more exercise, so hey, it could be many things. But yeah, the most disturbing part of it was actually going to get it done, and so many people without masks, and it's like, am I defeating the purpose here? Of course it's not. No, it's not. Don't take that as a reason not to go get it. Do not take it as one. But really, I am one to think, I hope, because like I said, I like to watch that Dr. John Campbell on YouTube. He now has over 1 million subscribers, and I remember when I was watching him, he did not have heart. He was just now getting, I think just then getting to it. I don't know, I don't want to say it, but yeah, this is like, wow. And he's very thorough. I can't say anything about the health part of it because I'm not a healthcare professional provider, but his technique of doing research, yes, I can say something about that, as a social and behavioral scientist, but I appreciate the way he does it. Okay, that's what I should say. Okay, I think I've said enough, and plus there's an airplane, and my headache, I'm telling you, this is so weird. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll talk to you on another video.